It really depends on the club. Some club, great. Other clubs, um, they just don't care about you. Like it's very obvious that they do not give a fuck about you. You're out there just to fend for yourself. For managers, even though they have power, there's only so much power because you've got to think about this. Strip club is a corporate business. There's a business model that is taught to everybody from all the way from the CEO down to the security staff. People are very strict on that and they abide by the laws because nobody wants to get fired. If it's a good strip club, they're gonna care and prioritize your safety above all. And at a strip club, safety is everything. Because you can get followed home, you can get somebody can point a gun at you if you make them mad one night. It's just somebody can like pull a knife out. Like that. At this one strip club, one of the I this is like one of the horror stories that I heard from them. He came into the club and he just had a vendetta against one of the girls. He had a machete on him, and I don't remember the full details because it's like a really long time ago. It's a few years ago. I don't know if the dancer got stabbed or not. I know that maybe one of the bouncers got stabbed from that. That kind of situation can happen. You get stalkers all the time. You get men who just don't respect your boundaries, and that's the one thing that nobody really talks about because now during the age of sex working and sexual empowerment, they love to glamorize that stuff. The sugar baby lifestyle, the stripper lifestyle, and they don't show the actual danger behind it. The rate of you getting pimped out by your manager, surprisingly kind of high. The rate of you getting sexually assaulted, very high. I don't know any dancer. I just don't know any dancer that haven't been sexually assaulted before. I have been sexually assaulted many times by customers, and it's not really, like people like to blame us, like, oh, you're in this lifestyle, you're showing your tits out to people. What do you expect? But there's this misconception. It really just stems from misogyny, stems from sexism, and yeah, no, that so many times at the beginning of my strip club career, I don't have a lot of boundaries. I didn't know how to make boundaries either. I was always a people pleaser ever since I was a small kid. One of the hardest lessons that you're gonna have to learn is how to set boundaries and how to be a bitch. Because that's the only way that you can protect yourself. Because even if you tell them, hey, how about I'm gonna give you a dance, don't touch me here, don't touch you there, guess what? They're still gonna try and touch you there. They're still gonna try and suck on your nipples. They're still gonna try to put a finger up your asshole, put a finger up your vagina, constantly. And it's just, that's when the club is supposed to come in. And it was good management. They're gonna come in and protect the girls and make sure that the girls are safe. But it was a bad club. They're just gonna laugh at you. Management's just like, so whatever. And they're not gonna do anything to the customer. And now customers think that they can do whatever the fuck they want. But that's just not how the fuck it works. They're not gonna see you and see the beauty of what makes you unique. They're there to see boobs. They're there to see vagina. If it's that full nude cunt, they're there to see butts. So the girls that have the bigger butts, the bigger boobs, they get more attention. That's just the way it works, so you can't help but to compare yourself to those girls. And feeling shitty about yourself, especially when you go home with like $20, that entire shift that you worked for like 12 hours. And it can't go on that long. If you want to go to the club early and you still want to stay till the very end, because the club doesn't start bumping till like midnight, it's a long hour shift work. It's a long day at work. 8 to 10 hours or more of physical work. What's it like to the management? When you're as a sugar, how's it work? There's a severe drinking problem at the clubs. It's to the point where this one time I was with this customer. He asked me want to drink. I said no. He's like, no, you're not. You're gonna want to drink. I told him, oh, I actually don't drink or smoke during work. He started to gas me. He was like, no, you're not. He doesn't believe that. He doesn't think that it's possible for a exotic dancer to work and be sober because it's very uncommon. I don't blame him. It's hard to say no. How can you not when these men are feeling up on you, when you know the reality of these men who have children, who have wives, who have girlfriends, out here acting shamelessly, not caring the fact that they're flaunting their wedding ring, not caring the fact that they're out here flirting with you and saying all the things that they want to do to you. They want to take you home, they want to buy you stuff. It fucks with your head. How can you not drink? And also, drinking helps with the pain. When you're doing pole work and you're hanging upside down, it hurts. I don't know if you've ever done pole before, but clinging onto that fucking pole and all that friction burns. Drinking, smoking, being on some kind of substance numbs the pain, both physically and mentally. This one time we all went to a party together. That's how I met the guy. At the strip club, I met him again. He expressed some interest. I needed to meet my financial goal for that night. I didn't think anything of it. I said, why not? Sure, he's consenting to it. I'm consenting to give him a dance. So we both went upstairs. He was drunk out of his fucking mind. And he's not a close friend of mine. So it was just a very awkward situation, but of course I put in a front. I was just giving him a dance, being very professional about it, honestly. He got up, started bending me over, grabbed my hands behind and started dry humping me. And I had to take a moment there. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because I really thought I'm just gonna be on your lap, being all seductive, maybe just like letting you fondle my boobs. But no, he got up and he started just like humping me and like grabbing my hips. It happens a lot for these men whenever they're just extremely horny. They're gonna grab onto your hips and start humping you because they think that they're fucking you in that moment, and that's how they get their sexual satisfaction for that moment. So to have a friend who, I'm using that word very loosely, to have a friend do that to you, I could just remember like the way that he was just heavy breathing, and it was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I just could not get rid of that image. So I told him no. He's like, alright, whatever. I finished my dance because he already paid. I want to get him his money worth. And at the time, I didn't realize that I have the option to walk out. I thought that if I don't satisfy the customer's gonna complain and I might be fired. There are many times where, not just from that friend, but I would tell the guy to please be gentle with my boobs. I actually had nipple piercings at the beginning of my dancing career. The amount of times I was sexually assaulted where they try to squeeze on it too hard or they try to put their mouth on it, I would always go home with an infection. It just scares me so bad that you can get herpes from that. I didn't want to fucking risk it. I took my nipple piercings out and I never wore them again ever. It used to be my favorite piercing. It used to be such a fun little accessory that I can help. Like I can put in my body and make me feel good about myself, but now I think about that. I think about the past, the time where I just did not know how to set boundaries. The ways that these men would just ignore my boundaries completely and disregard it and make me feel like I'm the bad guy for expressing consent. Because I'm not a fucking prostitute. I'm here to dance. And they make me feel bad about it. So I don't think for the rest of my life I will ever have a nipple piercing on my body ever. It just reminds me of a bad time in my life where I just let people walk all over me.
What excites you about like another dancer's performance that either like inspires you or you enjoy it or inspires you to like do something similar?
Yeah, there's different techniques. If I see some techniques, some new moves that I have not seen before and I see that it looks so good on them, I'll do that myself on my next set. And it's literally encouragement because I talk to all these other dancers and they literally said the same thing. They're like, oh yeah, I'd be looking at these other girls dancing and I'd be learning a lot from them. And then you just copy that moves that they just did on stage. Why not?
Yeah.
Nobody can knock you down or flag you down for that, I don't think.
That's super cool. So have you found that your own style is more just natural, or have you taken from a lot of different artists?
I've taken so much from other dancers because I was new when I told you I never had any special training. I never had a lot of exotic dancing experience specifically.
Yeah.
Other dancers the same way. They say they're not gonna look at them a little.
Okay.
Like, no, you definitely learned a lot from these girls, because how
Yeah.
else were you supposed to know what to do when you first start out?
Right.
Because you learn from the others.
Yeah.
So we watch it, we look, and then we learn.
Mhm.
That's how it is.
With the one move that you do, where it was my favorite. I thought it was the coolest.
Oh,
On the pole, when you went up and then you went down. How did you learn how to do that, and how did you train your thighs to like?
oh yeah, that I take pole classes every week. They'll teach you the more technical, safer,
Yeah.
correct way to do pole tricks.
Yep.
Some take pole classes, some don't. Everything, I mean, I'm impressed. Some people who don't need to take pole classes, they just learn everything on the stage as they go, which is incredible to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
It's like, they're just good at doing that. Just watch and copy. And your question about the thigh?
Yeah. So when like, I imagine you have to have some pretty strong thighs.
Yeah.
And then how do you like not get burned on it? Is it just the speed that you do it, or how did you like build up the muscles in there to be able to not like?
Yeah, it hurts a lot.
Okay.
It hurts. I think the when I actually did it and you shot it.
Yep.
And I remember, you probably heard that sliding sound, right? Or the music was too loud.
The music was pretty loud.
Yeah. When you slide down like that, and when you use like a lot of force and you clap on it, you hang on to it really tight, and then you try and like slide down, you're gonna hear it.
Okay.
And I don't know how. I don't get.
You don't get burns?
Honestly, I don't know how. I really don't know how.
That's
like,
wild.
I use grip. You know, there's different like types of grip that dancers use to make sure they can stick on the pole better.
Okay.
The rest is literally just pole conditioning. You literally just have to keep on doing it and put yourself through the pain so that your skin is numb to that, and it builds a tough skin, so it doesn't hurt as much anymore the more you do it.
And so what it takes to, you have to love this in order to push it to that next level. But some people, and this is where this documentary really comes in and why I've done this documentary, and what I'm trying to find in this, is looking for the people that can't avoid it. Looking for the people that don't have any other option. That whether it's a financial reason that they have to stay in this, whether it's they're locked in because of past felonies, or they can't get a job anywhere else, they're not accepted. There are many women who I have heard their stories where they're telling me, and they're too attractive to work at like a school because they're deemed as distracting. And so what do? How do they feed their families? How do they feed themselves? How do they move forward? What do you do if you had to go to that dark, grimy place? What would you do if you were a male and you had to fight to survive? And what would you do if you were a female and you had to dance to survive? And how could you possibly turn it into something positive that could change your family and your next generations forever? That's 1's and 5's.